And guys, good evening and what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993. And as promised earlier in one of my NXT TakeOver retro reviews, I am here to bring you a live review of not a WWE show. This is going to be the first time I'm reviewing a non WWE wrestling show since I've started this channel and then become a wrestling fan. But I am here, surprisingly. I didn't think I was going to be able to catch this show anytime soon. But I am here to give my live review on All Elite Wrestling, AEW's debuting show, Double or Nothing 2019. I didn't get to watch the show last night because I was at a Pirate game and I didn't think I was going to get a chance to watch it. So I did catch some highlights and whatnot. But then, thanks to my good friend Daniel Gaiza, invited me over he wanted to watch it again. So he invited me to come over and watch it with him. I gladly accepted, as I definitely wanted to take an interest in another company. Seeing that, lately, especially with the whole wild card rule, we'll be dying saying that my WWE fandom has been dying off a little bit. So obviously, I want to give another wrestling promotion a chance. And AEW, with the likes of Tony Khan, being the owner, Cody Rhodes, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, Dustin Rhodes, and just the amount of talent, whether they're an ex-WWE star or just other talents known well around the world, coming together, some of these bigger names, obviously with them getting a great TV deal for TNT this fall. Obviously, I want a chance to, explore wrestling more around the world besides just WWE. I mean, I'm not quitting with WWE unless the product like dies with Vince or something, but I was hoping to give AEW a chance and watch Double or Nothing, and I had the chance to tonight. So I'm going to come here and review it. Now, of course, disclaimer again, I have not really watched much wrestling outside of WWE. I've been to a few ROH live events when they've come here to Pittsburgh. Other than that, though, I mean, I never really watched any other pay-per-views. I never really watched any TNA. Not really watched any New Japan yet. So this is kind of like, a little new to me. So some of these wrestlers, of course, I'm not that familiar with. Some, of course, I am. Some ex-WWE stars, of course, and a few other names I've seen from, Ring of Honor events I've been to and whatnot. So, this probably not be one of my best reviews, but I can at least, talk about this review and say what I enjoyed and whatnot. But I gotta say, AEW, you guys were breathing down your necks earlier this year on WWE and superstars who are interested in leaving the company to go to AEW. And I gotta say, you're off to a very good start. Very good start. I thought this was an awesome show to watch. I had a great time watching it. Experiencing the fact that, a show like this was bringing together, different, styles of wrestling, different, like luchadors, Japanese, Korean, American, all these like styles just coming together. It felt just like a celebration of wrestling around the world coming together to promote another bigger company to say, hey, once again, you can succeed outside of WWE as well. You don't have to be in WWE to be successful. And that's, of course, the statement that Cody Rhodes has gone out since he left WWE in 2016. And that's exactly what he has done. And hats off to him and his brother, Dustin Rhodes, as they had, in my opinion, one of the best, if not maybe the best match of the night. That match they should have had at WrestleMania 31. Seriously, go back and watch, that Fastlane match, and you'll feel like, that was just crap compared to what we got tonight. Well, last night with the match that they had. Of course, it's TV 14, so it's allowed me not just also, experience, more wrestling around the world, different styles, but has also allowed me to kind of experience the TV 14 era again, whatnot. I'm not saying AEW will be, the Attitude Era, but, I think it'll definitely bring, a different perspective, as I kind of felt tonight when watching the show for sure. Like even though I don't know all these wrestlers, it's stuff that I can appreciate because I'm seeing it happen, like when it's happening. Well, a day late, but you know what I mean, guys. But of course, I'll briefly talk about this show. I'm going to say I'm going to be talking about a heck of a lot because I don't know every single people. I just wanted to just throw my thoughts out in there and, kind of get AEW kind of rolling on this channel a little bit as well, as I will look forward to definitely checking out the shows when they start happening in October. I'm not saying I'm going to be watching every single pay-per-view, of course, though, because, they are $50 unless I split it with some friends and whatnot. So that's why, for now, I'm just going to make just one playlist for AEW reviews. And then, of course, down the line, if things get bigger, then obviously I'll have to be splitting them up, make it a little more organized, easier to view things, like the weekly show, the pay-per-views. Once we start getting live shows, like on TV, to build for pay-per-views, then I may start doing predicted match cards. Until then, I'm not going to do predicted match cards for AEW because, once again, I don't know what's all going on with it. So, but yeah, so here's my AEW live review. We have a few viewers. We have a couple names, people to live chat. We've got Tyler. How I doing? How you doing? Not too bad. A little tired. I got a little early tomorrow morning, but just review, take a shower, shave this beard off. I'm almost done with NXT Takeover R Evolution, but I probably won't review that till maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But I'm definitely not going to review that tonight. Mikey, good to see you live stream again, buddy. Good to see you too, Robbie. And what's up, Jalen saying AEW Double or Nothing was awesome. I agree for sure. And then Rio from the 6-woman tag team, Japanese tag team showcase that hell gave me Kairi Sane vibes last night. I agree. I mean, I can't remember exactly which one, she was exactly, but there was a Kairi Sane lookalike. So as I'm assuming you're talking about, but yeah, that 6-woman's tag match was good, except for that ending, of course, with that little botch finish. This is why Vince needs to leave now. Oh, for sure. Either Vince is going to realize this is going to be a wake-up call for Vince McMahon as far as actually getting his act together and making his product worthwhile again, or he's just going to continue to keep doing what he's doing and just let this product die with him basically one day. And it wouldn't surprise me if he let that happen. His ego, he's too full of his ego that he would probably do something like that. But let's start talking about the show again. I'm probably not going to talk like a heck of a lot about it because, again, I don't know too many of these wrestlers too well. I mean, I've heard of a good amount of them, but I don't know a heck of a lot of them that well to really talk like too in depth about the show than what about WWE or NXT shows. But I'll give it a try and see where it goes. But I'm sure once the live shows happen, I start to get more familiar with some of these people. Then I'm sure I will be able to, talk a lot more about them. Of course, our announced team would feature Jim Ross as head commentator, which he did well. Again, I know, of course, like many people have been saying on Twitter, he doesn't know all these superstars, so he can't really get as into it as, he normally would. But over time, he will. There was that one luchador, Excalibur, whatever his name was, who was on commentary as well. He was good. Then there's that Alex Marvez, whatever his name was. He was a little monotone. Of course, we got Justin Roberts also there being a ring announcer. Of course, I guess he's doing well from being choked out by Daniel Bryan with his ring tie and whatnot. But anyways, I didn't get to watch the pre-show. But the two pre-show matches we had we had a Kip Sabian versus Sammy Guevara. Didn't really see this match. I can't really say what happened. We also had the 21-man casino battle royale happen first. There was a couple of different people there. The only person I would recognize though was Tommy Dreamer, again a little extreme in there. Of course, poor guy got his nuts stapled and his head stapled, as I saw in the highlights from that match. But the winner was Hangman Adam Page, who last eliminated MJF. Forgot what his name was. I'll probably get to when I get to the results in a second. But basically, of course, Paige was supposed to have a match on the main show against Pac, whatever you want to call him, formerly known as Neville or Adrian Neville, as I've been having to call him for the past couple of days with reviewing old NXT takeovers and whatnot. But apparently, he backed out of the match because he was supposed to lose. But since he's Dragon Gate world champion right now, he felt he shouldn't be losing. That's why he backed out of the match. But they did apparently have the match on another promotion. I forgot what it was called. That a couple of days, like sometime last week, they still had the match. I don't know the results, but I didn't get to watch it. But I got sent the link to the match, so I'll check that out. But I saw the match. But that, of course, they more so gave Hangman Adam Page the win here, and of course also to kind of add a little bit of stakes for this battle royale as well, not just to showcase talent, but just to put a stipulation behind it as well. The winner of this match faces the winner of the main event between Jericho and Omega at the next pay-per-view. I forgot what it's called already off the top of my head. For the debuting AEW World Championship, which we revealed that later on. Of course, get to that. But that was those two matches on the pre-show. The first match on the main show was a 6-man tag match, so-called uncensored, SCU. Christopher Daniels Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky taking on Strong Hearts, Seema T-Hawk and L Lindemann. I thought it was a pretty solid opening 6-man tag team match. The one person I felt I kind of heard before was Christopher Daniels. I think I probably seen him on like an ROH event or whatnot. My favorite part of the match though was definitely when someone hit like a flying looking like RKO from So-Called onto somebody from Strong Hearts and whatnot. It was definitely a solid opening match. I mean, it was definitely one of like the weaker matches on the card, but I still felt it was definitely a solid tag match. We definitely got several tag team matches on this card as we've seen, but just to showcase some 6-man tag team action, and I thought it was fun. So we had the So-Called and Censor SCU win the match by pinfall. The second match was supposed to be a triple threat match. It was Kylie Ray, who is basically, it seems to be the Bailey of AEW because she's always smiling. I was like, clapping with I'm like, girl, you're cute, but calm down. I mean, she has the bow in her hair and everything. Like, you can tell she's like, just like, a bow and, innocent looking person. Like, calm down. Quit smiling too much there, Kylie Ray. Even the heels kind of like, I'm like, okay, calm down. But she was involved in this fatal four. Originally the triple threat. Her, Nyla Rose was a big brute, and Dr. Britt Baker, but we all know her as the significant other of Adam Cole, baby. The triple threat is about to start, but then out came Brandy Rhodes. Brandy Rhodes, basically saying how I meant that this could be a great match, but you have a problem. It can be more than great. It can be awesome. And that's when Awesome Kong's music plays, and Awesome Kong, formerly known as Karma, of course, she came out. Of course, I have not seen her in action other than her appearance in the 2012 Men's Royal Rumble, but obviously I kind of, got a little bit of a taste of her tonight as this turned into a fatal four-way just to showcase some talent. Of course, again, Kylie Ray still going, just clapping and smiling for everybody. It's just like, those are your competitors. Like, you're not BFS people. Just cool down. Like, and quit smiling so much. But, I thought this was another solid, fatal four-way match between these four women as well. Definitely, see like Awesome Kong, like, Dr. Britt Baker, definitely being some people do be considered building the division around. Brandy Rhodes was out there obviously showing some favoritism towards Awesome Kong. Probably the best spot of the match was whenever Awesome Kong did that big power bomb, like stacking all three of the other ladies up on top and slamming them down. Of course, Dr. Britt Baker had some offense there, and even Nyla Rose had some good offense in there as well. You related to Mandy Rose, just kidding. Outside the ring as well, but eventually Awesome Kong was taken out, and most of the last few minutes was Dr. Britt Baker and Kylie Ray, who I was saying, like, it looked like that bow was like, even like when Bayley was in NXT, like I felt like her ponytail would always come undone. I don't see that happening as much anymore as it usually did, but Kylie Ray's bow was starting to come out of her hair, and then Baker then threw a punch her right in the face or something like that, and the spit came out, and that bow came flying out as well. As soon as that happened, it was pretty much done from there, as she hits her finishing maneuver, and Dr. Britt Baker gets the win. I thought with Awesome Kong coming out, maybe she would have gotten the win, but obviously, that would have been a little too obvious. So giving someone like Dr. Britt Baker, of course, just pinning like, the more underdog in the match, like Kylie Ray, seemed to be the right thing to do. So that's how that match went. I thought it was, again, a pretty good match between all four of these women, and I definitely want to what other women are built in this division around that. So we'll see where that goes there. We then have a tag team match between the best friends, Chuck Taylor, or of course they have to call him Chucky T, and I'm thinking, okay, you're saying Chuck E. Cheese here or whatnot. I missed that place, by the way, even though there's one like 20 minutes from me. I'm sure a 25-year-old guy going to Chuck E. Cheese would be pretty awkward. Taking on Los Guerreros del Cielo, Angelico, and Jack Evans. I thought these two teams put on a pretty fun tag match as well. Some definitely crazy stunts going on there. I know Jack Evans did some type of um some type of like something similar to Humberto Carrillo's finisher, taking out one member of the Best Friends in the match, like outside the ring. Was it this match or the 6-man tag team match? Someone did some maneuver where they basically looked like they were just going to hit, where the opponent was leaned over straight, and then it looked like the guy was coming in. I can't remember if it was a member of SCU or if it was from this match with the Best Friends and whatnot. But I remember they hit the ropes, and then they came running, and he thought we were going to do like a kick to the face, something like that, but literally jumped on top of the opponent who was face down, and did like a double knee stomp to their back. That was a very sick move there as well. There were a couple other pretty fancy spots in there back and forth, but the finish to the match came, which I saw this in a couple of these tag matches, came when they hit some move where it's like they kind of set them up for some type of pile driver, but then the other opponent kind of like a springboard off, and kind of just combine slam into people down as well. But that of course was the finisher there, and I thought was another pretty good solid tag team match between these two teams as well. It was a face on face match because after the match, the two teams go to hug it out. But then the lights go out, come back on, and there's these two people in the ring, and then a bunch of masked people, two people leading some type of big cult or something like that, came in and beat down both of these tag teams. So, okay, don't know who the heck you are, but of course, getting the Who Are You chance going, and we'll see what happens with that, who these people are, what we found who they are, and whatnot. I think when I watched Alex Man's review last night, he said something about they're called the Super Smash Bros, like kind of an evil, well, again, not Mario and Luigi, but kind of like an evil opposite thing of them or whatnot. I can't remember, what exactly he said they were, but of course, don't really know these guys too well, but of course, we'll see what happens. But I thought it was another solid tag team match between these two teams as well, as I keep saying. So that match was that. Then we had this 6-women's tag team match. It had a bunch of, Japanese wrestlers in there. Again, I can't match names to faces. I can't remember all, but Aja Kong, Yuka Sakazaki, and Emi Sakura. I probably butchered some of his pronunciations. I apologize. Taking on Hikaru Shida, Ryo, and Ryo Mizunami. In a 6-woman tag team match. Of course, we see how many 6-women tag team matches in WWE. This one I thought, produced, a lot of fun, produced a couple different, styles of wrestling through the Japanese women as well. Of course, some of these women were wearing mixed costumes and whatnot, and attire. It was a little confusing trying to figure out who was on whose team, because some look the same. Someone's about, okay, two people in the white outfits are attacking each other and whatnot. But no, it was still a fun 6-woman tag match. Definitely something different, the styles. And one, there was a bigger woman in purple. I can't remember which one she was. I thought she, was at the anchor of most of the match. The only thing about this match, though, was the botched finish. They had the opposite team who didn't win, the team of Kong, Sakari, and Sakura, had a pinfall going, and it looked like they hit the count of 3, but it was only count of 2. The ring announcer, though, rang the bell, so that was weird. But the match continued, and eventually the team of Shida, Ryo, Mizunami, they would win the match by pinfall. But I thought we had some good action back and forth between these 6 women. Just some different, but of course we'll see how these women will contribute to the women's division as well for All Elite Wrestling down the line. So that match happened there. Of course, do we get to the second half of the show? Let's check the live chat, see what we got here. Again, I do apologize. I don't have too much to really say because I'm still trying to get to know some of these people and whatnot. And there's still some moments here and there, that I definitely remember, but not off the top of my head. But it's just, I'm just trying to, put pieces of the puzzle together here, of course, for this review. But anyways, live chat, we got Triple H needs to be in charge. We all know that. Noah Laura, what's up? I had glad to be home from Las Vegas. Thank you, Double or Nothing. Definitely. Jericho's entrance was great as it acknowledged the evolution in pro wrestling for sure. And it was really cool to see the list of Jericho making an appearance as well. That was great. WCW was on TNT for Nitro. Nice. And can you do best and worst heel turns? That could be another possibility someday for a top 10 as well. I've done top 10 face and heel turns or people who should. I don't know if I've ever done a worst though. So maybe I can do a worst top 10 because I've already done best of before. But thank you for the suggestion, Tyler. So moving on now to probably the better part, the more exciting part of the show, because it felt like the not as the weaker match, like most matches that were good, but you probably expect to see some of this like a main event of like just a regular weekly televised show. This is the more the matches that we're going to remember from this show. Starting off with the match that I'm sure many of us have wanted to see for a long, long, long time. Should have been at WrestleMania 31 and booked right, telling a story that these two wanted to tell. I'm pretty sure this would have been a WrestleMania classic. Instead, as I said then when I was watching with Dan, at Fastlane, we had one match that was just two brothers playing nice with each other, it looked like. Now, boys, play nicely. Nope, that's not what it needed to be. Cody Rhodes, well, just Cody, the American Nightmare, but to me, always Cody Rhodes taking on the natural Dustin Rhodes, formerly, of course, known as Goldust. Basically, two brothers and two different generations going at it. One of the best families of all time, for sure, in wrestling. This match was great. Of course, first, at the beginning of the match, when Cody first came out with his wife, Brandi Rhodes, they walked down to the ring. Brandi pulls out a sledgehammer from underneath, picks it up, gives it to Cody, who came down basically wearing like a king's attire. Of course, took the top parts off, of course. Walks back up the ramp where that throne was. That obviously was a symbol of Triple H. Cody then takes the sledgehammer, slams it into the chair, and it breaks. Firing a shot at Triple H, basically, and WWE in general, saying, hey, screw you all, guys. Look what I did. Once again, a man who literally left WWE 3 years ago to show, hey, I don't need you guys to be successful. And just look what he's done ever since. He has his own. He's been part of starting up a wrestling promotion that I thought had a very, very great show. Of course, not a perfect show, but a great show, as I said. But then, of course, came Dustin Rhodes. Of course, I can tell he's Goldust by the way he walks. It's just weird not seeing him with the face paint on. The Goldust face paint on. They get in the ring. The match starts. Obviously, of course, they acknowledge their father from above. Dusty Rhodes. Kind of going a little off character for a second, but then getting back into character as Brandi Rhodes was trying to cause some distractions here and there on Dustin Rhodes to, for Cody to get the victory. But then eventually, after the referee caught Brandi spearing Dustin into steel steps, just pulling off some, Rhodes tactics. This match was filled nothing but, Rhodes type tactics and history of the Rhodes family, and of course in honor of the late Dusty Rhodes, for sure. Rest in peace, Dusty. And Brandi, of course, was kicked out. This match got a lot more interesting though, especially when blood got involved. Cody took off the turnbuckles padding on the second turnbuckle, one of the corners, and Dustin just crashed head first into it. Of course, this was during the time, of course, where Brandi was causing a distraction before she was basically kicked out and whatnot. But then Dustin, again, one side of Dustin's face was red and black and whatnot, painted. The other side was his normal face. But then after he collided there, of course, he was bleeding. He must have, bladed an artery or something because he bled like no tomorrow. Like, I can't remember the last time I've seen that much blood. Like, a possibility is maybe when Brock busted up Randy Orton at SummerSlam 2016. That's how bad the blood was. But, it was just like an emotional match to watch for sure, because obviously these two were dedicating this towards their father, Dusty Rhodes. And, of course, Cody Rhodes wanted to prove that he was the better generation. Then, of course, Goldust, who, of course, was there during the Attitude Era. But of course, this match went into the crowd for a few minutes and whatnot. Had some good back and forth action. And of course, towards the end of the match, it was kind of like a competition between, the Crossroads finisher. The Crossroads, not the freaking Queen's Crossbow, as WWE called it. On Cody's second Crossroads, though, he pins his brother in the middle of the ring. And I thought it was a classic. The storytelling, just the intensity, it wasn't like, a fast-paced, high-flying match. But this match is basically, the Rhodes family celebrated in one big match, I felt, in my opinion. And if this was the match we would have had at WrestleMania 31, would have been amazing. But of course, WWE didn't feel that match was worthy of being at WrestleMania 31 because their idea of Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes was much different than, these two wanted to display as well. But like I said about a couple months ago at NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool, when Finn Balor and Jordan Devlin had a dream match of mine, I said it took place on the correct brand. And so did this match for sure. The brand that Cody Rhodes, was involved in making happen. After the match, though, Cody gets back in the ring. Of course, he's bloodied up from, battling his brother who was bleeding to death throughout this whole match. He gets back in and he says that, he's the next pay-per-view is Fight for the Fallen, is what the next pay-per-view is going to be called next month. Cody, though, basically got in there and said he got a match for the tag titles against the Young Bucks. And he asked Dusty, he said, I don't want just a partner. I don't want just a friend. I want my own brother. And of course, they both kind of got a little emotional. They hugged it out. Obviously, again, put on the performance that they've dreamed of putting on together. And of course, I'm sure both of them wish that their dad would have definitely been there to see it. But they know that he's watching from above, definitely. And just knowing that, these two boys definitely make him proud every day. So that was, of course, the match with Cody and Dustin. We then had a surprise. It was the revealing of the AEW Championship, World Championship. And who's the person to, reveal it? No one other than Bret the Hitman Hart, who comes out with the title wrapped around. Of course, he says the winner of tonight's main event will face the winner from the 21-man Casino Battle Royal on the pre-show, Hangman Adam Page, who came out. But before he can start talking, out comes MJF, who was the last person eliminated from the Battle Royal. Basically, just take his claim about how he felt he should be the number one contender in that match and not Hangman Adam Page. Of course, he takes shots at Bret Hart, just saying, "Hey, Bret, there's a fan. Oh, it's right. I'm sorry, whatnot," or just kind of making a reference to when that person who attacked him at the Hall of Fame ceremony to see a good heat, whatnot. So he pretty much takes shots of him, but pretty much telling that Adam Page should give up his title opportunity. But then out comes Jungle Boy behind MJF, and then Jimmy Havoc comes out as well. And then when MJF's trying to leave, all three of them then go down there and basically just take it out MJF. As Bret Hart holds up the title belt, which is, a glorious looking title, all gold and whatnot. It has AEW in black in the center. It doesn't look cheap. Doesn't look like something that you bought from, Fisher Price, like, the 24/7 title looks last week. It's not just, color coded like all WWE titles are. Such as, of course, the Universal title just looking freaking lazy. Again, it looks like a freaking toy. It looks like they took Nakamura's jacket and just made that into a title belt or something. It's quite pathetic. But we got that, of course, there. So again, the winner between Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho will be facing Hangman Adam Page at Fight for the Fallen next month for the AEW World Title. The next match, oh boy. This had to have been one of the best tag team matches I have seen in quite some time. I mean, we've had some pretty good ones over the past few years, but this one, man, this match to me felt like I was watching Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas. I literally did not know when this match was going to end. And another thing too was the time limits were back also. All these matches, except for the main event, had a 30-minute time limit. The main event had a 60-minute time limit. But we had this match for the AAA World Tag Team Championship match. I believe it's again the Lucha Underground's tag champions, I believe, or AAA, the Mexican promotion AAA. I'm sorry, their tag team titles. The Young Bucks taking on the Lucha Bros. Of course, one of them I think was Kalisto, but it was Ray. I forgot the guy's name actually. But anyways, I thought this was a just a phenomenal tag team match between these two teams. Some of the near falls they took. Like, there was one point in the match where it was like not even like probably like maybe 3/4 of the way during the match where the Lucha Bros double teamed on one of the Young Bucks, which one of the Jackson brothers, and hit like a combination of like a power bomb into a Selena del Sol or something like that. That didn't do the trick there. There was, of course, I think there wasn't a table shot. There were table shots in the main event, of course, as well. But just a lot of back and forth action. A lot of moves looked like finishing moves, and a lot of just hard hitting, high flying, maneuvers that they were just able to counter. And like you weren't sure like if they're ever going to even make contact with each other because they were just easily, just doing some of the most impressive stuff any tag teams have done, showing that these two are truly two of the greatest tag teams in the world. Of course, towards the end of the match, one of the Lucha Bros did like some type of like of a maneuver where kind of like caused one of the Young Bucks arms to basically not be used and just like wounded and whatnot, as he had to do his finisher with one arm for the Young Bucks to retain the AAA tag titles. But again, I wish I could remember this match more. It was a very awesome match. Again, that spot though, again, my favorite spot, kick out though, again, all these near falls, again, some of the most amazing kick outs you thought was going to be it with this match, because these finishers you've seen like other tag teams do, and then they kick out, showing that hey, there's even more creative finishers out there than just what WWE has. Even though again, some of them it's like for one person it's not a finisher, but another person it is. Someone else might even used a curb stomp. Wasn't used as a finisher, of course, and whatnot. But again, that Selena del Sol and the power bomb combo I thought was quite epic, for sure. There was also one like an RKO and something else, similar looking move there, just a great looking move there, but just a classic. Definitely, like if I was doing more than just WWE for end of the year review awards, I'd say this would probably be my tag team match of the year so far. This match for sure with the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros for the AAA tag titles. But once again, bringing some Lucha Libre into here as well. We've seen some Japanese wrestling, American wrestling, Lucha Libre wrestling. We've seen all different types of styles throughout this whole show tonight. And finally, we get our main event. It was Chris Jericho taking on Kenny Omega, a rematch from Wrestle Kingdom, whichever one, number one was 12, I think we got last year. I'm not seeing that match, even though I keep hearing it's probably Jericho's best match, and it was a 5-star classic. This match I thought was good. Well, first, I did, like Robbie mentioned, I did like that, Jericho kind of came out, did like an evolution of his entrance. From the Lionheart to, a shot of him holding the list to his light up jacket that, of course, Dean Ambrose, well, he was Dean Ambrose. Well, Dean Ambrose is somewhere out there, but someone who looked like Dean Ambrose showed up tonight, but it was not Dean Ambrose. It was another guy. But I'm sure, Dean Ambrose still had never paid Jericho back for that $15,000 or whatnot. But finally he comes out in his new attire. And I liked how he came out to Judas, and that's kind of like his theme now and his character now is he's kind of more of like a Judas, basically, as they made it seem like. He took on Kenny Omega. Of course, it's the first time I've ever been able to see Kenny Omega in live action for sure. Like we're seeing a match like this, seeing talent like Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, the Lucha Bros, and like a few other talents I've seen that I haven't been able to see because I don't really watch much outside WWE. But I'm like, okay, this is talent like this. They're too good that I wouldn't want to see them go to WWE. Like I don't think Kenny Omega should ever touch WWE territory at all. Like if AEW did not exist, I'm pretty sure he probably would have tried WWE. But I do think he should just stay in AEW and stay away from WWE. I don't think he should. I don't think the Young Bucks should ever go there. I at this point don't think Cody Rhodes should even consider going back to WWE. No matter how much money they offer him, it shouldn't happen. I enjoyed this match though with Jericho and Omega. It wasn't my favorite match of the night. I say the first half though was probably my favorite though, especially whenever they brought out like the table spot where Jericho. Well, first off, I guess the reason why people say this match was not as good as their match at Wrestle Kingdom in New Japan was because the New Japan match was a no DQ match. This was just a standard wrestling match, even though, of course, they used a table, got involved, and there was a little bit of blood from Omega, which, of course, blood's fine to use, kind of, sell, the injury, the wear and tear on your body and whatnot, which, needs to happen more often in WWE, but no, oh my gosh, it's PG. You can't do blood. We have to call it acidic liquid. But, I think the first half of the match, especially like with the spots where when Omega did kind of that dive outside the ring and the land on the table that wasn't even opened up yet, and then kind of toppled Jericho. I also like the spot in the match where Jericho kind of stole a camera and started filming people, but someone just like a splash their drink in the face of the camera, which liquid and camera is not good there, people. But the second half of the match was all right. I don't think it was not as fast paced and as as interesting as the first half was. Of course, I thought Jericho had Omega though when Omega was for some type of like splash, but Jericho countered it though with a code breaker, but that was not enough, as apparently I guess the code breaker is not going to be Jericho's true finisher in AEW, because he would win the match by hitting some type of like an elbow to Omega's jaw. And it was called the Judas effect. I'm guessing he's used that he's kind of using that ever since he's checked out, Impact and New Japan and whatnot. But so he finishes off with this elbow and he calls it the Judas effect. And Jericho wins. So next month at I forgot the name again. Fight for the Fallen. Jericho will be taking on Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Title. But that's not the end of the show. Again, okay, because earlier again I said I didn't expect to be able to see this show. I did watch some highlights, see some stuff on Twitter, so I knew what happened at the end of the show happened. But man, was this a moment I wish I would have been surprised with for sure, because the suspense of like what this guy was doing after he left WWE a month ago, man, this would have been nice to had that surprise feel to it. But so Jericho gets on a microphone. He gets a promo on how, AEW is not about the fans. It's all about him. AEW is Jericho, and it's the reason that they have a TV deal and everything and whatnot. Basically saying, all I ask, I don't care if you cheer me or boo me, all I ask that is for a simple thank you. The crowd, of course, booed and refused to say thank you. Like, I asking for a thank you. Getting this Jericho just spitting gold out. Another thing, though, I guess I gotta say, I wish I would have liked the scene, in the match with him and Omega. I guess I've always liked this hearing him more in WWE, but when Jericho's a heel, you always hear me like kind of like a big mouth during the match. Of course, such as his feud with Punk going, "Hey Punk, how's your father?" Or his feud with Ambrose, "Come on, Ambrose, you owe me $15,000, Ambrose." Like like the big mouth, that he has in the ring. Hearing what he's saying is like adds more to the entertainment of his character. I wish we would probably use that a little bit more. In this match. But anyways, as Jericho is begging for a thank you, cuts to the crowd. Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose comes in, but he's Jon Moxley. It says Mox in orange letters on his back, but he makes his way through the arena. The crowd is popping for him. He gets in the ring and just has a stare down with Jericho, and Jericho's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, I'm not giving you that $15,000 still. You hurt my plan, homie. But then he hits a dirty deeds on Jericho. But of course, they probably had to solidify that, Moxley's what he should be, a heel, as he then takes out the referee. He then goes to take out Kenny Omega. But Omega gets up and then they brawl outside the ring for a little bit. It continues to up the ramp to the stack of poker chips on the stage, because once again, other promotions actually have a theme and have an interesting little set for their shows. And also we saw some freaking pyro tonight. I will say a couple of camera shots were weird. So that's the one time during the match involving the best friends, they kind of did like a quick little zoom out as the best friends were hugging in the center. I thought that was a little bit of a weird shot there. But anyways, but Ambrose, I'm sorry, guy, he's calling him Moxley now. Moxley and and Omega like brawled up the ring, and then they eventually got to the top of the stack of poker chips. He would then hit a dirty deeds on Omega on the poker chips and do something like an AA or something like that off of the poker chips as Moxley stood up there just like, like you could tell that, well, okay, Dean Ambrose, John Good, John Moxley. I used to call him John Moxley now. You can tell that, he was having a good time and he's like, yes, this is much better. This is what I wanted to be as a heel and whatnot. And, I never really experienced Ambrose as John Moxley in CZW or anything. I've never watched it, but once again, I'm going to get a chance to experience, the TV 14 era, through AEW, which again is not a carbon copy of WWE. It's its own brand. But I also get to experience John Moxley as well, and the heel that Dean Ambrose should have been in WWE. Not the gas mask man, not the guy getting shots in his ass and whatnot on live TV, which is awkward as hell. But I'm glad Moxley chose to go to AEW. And of course, I like how they kept the secret. I mean, I'll be honest and say I didn't think he'd show up at Double or Nothing. Only because I wasn't sure about the no compete clause, if he had any of those, with his contract expiring and whatnot. Then again, he didn't like request his release or anything. This was just his contract expiring, and he didn't resign. So yeah, that being said, though, you guys think Punk's going to show up? I mean, there's that All Out show in August, the end of August in Chicago. Think Punk would consider trying AEW? I mean, of course, people are telling me that, he may go back to WWE. Vince offered him a buckload of money because obviously, Vince is probably getting paranoid because he knows AEW is going to drive him out of business. Well, if I was Punk, I wouldn't take any money from Vince. I don't care who you are. If Vince McMahon, treated you like crap and wants to offer you a buckload of money to come back, he's only doing that for himself. He's not doing that for you. He's doing that for himself. That's all he cares about himself. He's a big egomaniac money whore. But yeah, I actually do hope that Punk does show up at All Out. I've always said, I was satisfied and happy with the fact that, well, I shouldn't say satisfied, but settled the fact that Punk was never going to come back to pro wrestling. I'm going to lift that up. If he should, I'll give him one chance. I'll get my hopes up a little bit for All Out in August. If he does not show up at All Out in August, since he's in his hometown, like, Ambrose lives in Vegas. This is a great spot for him to make his debut. I'm sorry, Moxley again. Guy, he's John Moxley again. Dean Ambrose was great. I love you, Dean Ambrose, but I'm sure you're somewhere else right now in this world. John Moxley, though, is the man I saw tonight in Jonathan Good's shoes. But All Out will be the last chance, I'd say, for me to see if CM Punk would return to pro wrestling. If he doesn't return then, I'm going back to saying I'm not going to believe Punk's going to be back till I see it. But that's where I stand there. And guys, that is my live review of AEW's debuting show, Double or Nothing. Check the live chat before I get my grades. Let me see here. The blood in the Cody and Dustin match was so symbolic and key to the story. Felt great to see blood play such a role for sure. It's the same place that Goldberg and DDP have their classic Halloween Havoc. Of course, you mentioned Kalisto when talking about Lucha Bros. One of them looked like him, of course, because they all look the same. No, just kidding. Some Lucha things. Oh, yeah, that was funny. Fortina was more like a Joker to me. AEW equals WCW. Hope doesn't fall at WCW. And Jericho may win the title. He may do so for sure. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jericho win the title for sure. I wouldn't mind. I'm still getting to know Hangman and Adam Page. Wouldn't mind seeing him win it either. But maybe Pac will make an appearance soon again in AEW. I'm not sure if he's completely done with AEW or he just pulled himself from this event again. Because again, the rumors I heard was he didn't want to lose because he's Dragon Gate champion and he felt him losing would make him look bad. So maybe he'll be at another AEW show. Hopefully, I'd like to see Neville again. Well, sorry, Pac, Neville, Adrian Neville. I'm calling out. I'm doing the NXT review series, but I only have, I think, one more I can't remember if he's. I can't remember. I know he's at R Evolution. I can't remember if he's at Revenge or whatnot. But of course, we'll see what happens when I get to those reviews. But yeah, guys, thank you for joining me for this live review of AEW Double or Nothing 2019. If I had to give it a grade, I gave it an A-. I thought, again, even though I don't know too many talents too well, they definitely impressed me. Saw, different styles of wrestling. Got introduced to some other people around the world besides WWE or ex-WWE stars. So I definitely, look forward to, continuing to see some of these guys in action, through AEW and, just, taking an interest in another wrestling route besides just WWE and NXT. So guys, again, A- for AEW Double or Nothing. What are your thoughts on the debut and pay-per-view AEW Double or Nothing? Do you think AEW is off to a great start? What else do you see happening? Who else does he come to AEW? Are you happy that Jon Moxley decided to go to AEW as well? Leave us down in the comment section below. As always, be sure to slap a like on my video, subscribe or comment on my channel, and follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAirboy93. Also, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to check out my WrestleMania Experience documentary. Found in the description box down below. There's a shortcut link to get there. I'm going to be finishing R Evolution before I go to sleep tonight, but I won't be reviewing tonight because I have to get up pretty early tomorrow because I have some family plans for Memorial Day. So definitely enjoy your holiday. Have a great cookout if you had that as well. I will be reviewing Raw tomorrow, and sometime I'll review our Evolution. Tuesday though, I have plans with friends for that day, so I will not be able to review SmackDown immediately following SmackDown. I will not be live tweeting during SmackDown, but I will review it later and try to do 205 Live also. Of course, Wednesday will be NXT UK NXT reviews, either after NXT or sometime Thursday. I will try to do my NXT TakeOver 25 preview predictions. Probably I'll try to do my my top 10 special on Thursday. Again, I will not be able to catch NXT TakeOver 25 live on Saturday because I have to work a gig, and then when I get home, I gotta get up really early Sunday morning for a softball game unless it gets rained out. So then I'll catch TakeOver 25 Sunday during the day, and I'll review it sometime Sunday evening. And of course, I'm trying to get my Stomping Grounds card bridges together. I'm just having a hard time trying to predict matches for that show so far, but we'll get to that. And since I don't care about Super Showdown, I want to do a fantasy booking video on my own custom international WWE Network special. Robbie, go for it, man. I look forward to seeing that book as well. As guys, as I always put over Robbie One Kenobi for being a genius with coming up with great ideas that WWE should be using. Of course, Vince has a stubborn egomaniac and a money whore, and won't take any of everybody's ideas for his own. Or I'm sorry, he will take other people's ideas, but eventually down the line, when he acts like it's his own idea. But check out Robbie's channel. I'm looking forward to checking out that stream whenever it happens, Robbie. And as always, guys, if you like what you see on Robbie's channel, please get hashtag Please Sign Robbie trending on Twitter. Heck, give him the WWE. If not, he'll go to AEW. Either way, Robbie's destined to be a fantastic writer for wrestling promotion someday, and I definitely will always put him over. And then Stupid Grounds, yes, instead of Stomping Grounds, it's Stupid Grounds. But yeah, but guys, once again, leave us in the comment section below. And as always, the usual, as I always said again, I'm out here, guys. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great Memorial Day tomorrow, and I will see you guys sometime tomorrow for both my Raw reviews and my NXT TakeOver R Evolution review as well. So, guys, have a great rest of your night, and peace out, everybody.